don't attack it when defenders.
I think it's like.
People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. With it being the halfway point of the week, I hope everyone's having a progressive week. Hope you're all moving that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, overcoming hardship, etc., etc. Health is wealth. If you ain't got health, you're dead, innit? So I hope everyone and their loved ones has continued or better health. In fact, we could always have better health. Any talking points, etc., please get them in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, I was late off my own accord because I was with you. Big up the Twitch gang. We was talking about Arsenal, etc., and it overran. But actually, on top of that, and this is why maybe you should be on time. I don't know what's going on, but it's like StreamYard almost made like 2 streams, and then I'm pressing the live button. It's saying I can't go live, so I've had to delete that and remake that. So some people are probably stuck in the other live. In fact, let me guys see where that is. What that's actually saying. Let me actually help them as well and give them the link to this one. So yeah, I appreciate you lot. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We lost some likes. I think when last time I checked, we was at 18. Hopefully we can pattern up, people. So yeah, I would delete the other live stream, but I ain't touching nothing until this one's done, in it, people, for obvious reasons. So technical difficulties, I apologize, but you know I'm good for it, man. It's not even a lateness, it is for me, but it's not even a lateness is greatness thing. It's just StreamYard being a dickhead, innit? So big up you lot. Hope you're doing well and safe. You know, Arsenal, we're not getting Europe in it. So, I mean, Champions League, but we have got our lives in it. And I want to say, obviously, shout out to Red Stepper, Cam, Charlie, and Roger. I see you lot were early. John as well, and Chris, early doors in the other live stream. It's done you lot dirty. So large up you lot in it, but it is what it is, man. You know, 26 likes. We did a quick get back. Appreciative to you lot. I just want to know, can you lot see the thumbnail and everything? Because it's pissing me off, quite frankly, YouTube. So yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I hope you're all doing well and safe. We're back again. Man said Depay links, thoughts. Someone, have you lot got evidence of this? Because I'll answer, but I just want to, you know, it's fun if a man typed in Depay links. It's not going to find it. Depay Arsenal. Let's see if there's anything there. Makes sense. Silly season. His contract soon up. You know, he's played here before. He could be available on the cheap. It makes sense why it's there. No way we've been linked with Bamford of Leeds. No way there's links to Bamford. Bro. No way we're linked with Bamford. See, you might be, you're trying to have me on there, aren't you? You know, we could do a lot worse. Bamford's been given a torrid time with injuries and things. It's not really the striker I want, but for the squad, why not? Really and truly, you know, he's bound to be better than certain other individuals. So yeah, I'm back again, my guy. We got again. Shout out Cam, man. You got done dirty. You was part of the crew that was done dirty. It is what it is. Watching the transfer window of Liverpool this summer, they're gonna do good business, probably. You know, I hope we can though. From being linked to Jesus and Nunes to Bamford all my days, the difference between Champions League football and none, in it, really. So yeah, I hope something. I Jing appreciate that. So yeah, I was stuck in the dark place thinking I'm early. We're there, man. We're there, man. We're there. They can't stop us, man. Technical difficulties. We got again in it. We go again. I swear there was a concert G Unit weren't supposed to perform, and 50 said, "Fuck that, we're gonna do it anyways." That's how I'm feeling right now, innit? They can, you know, we only take temporary L's. You can't defeat me forever, man. We're still only got 35 likes. Can we begin the press? All right, Dan. I don't like you no more, man. I can't lie. 1 minute you're here, then you're not. You're them Arteta. You're like Arteta in out flip flop brigade, man. 1 minute you're fucking with the guy, then you're not. I don't like it. I'm not hailing you up no more. Who's that? Danny's a fanny. Who's that? It's all love, though, my guy. It's all banter. It's all entertainment. I shout, Antonio. I'm good, man. You know, again, the only thing I've got to complain about is some technical difficulties. If complaining about technical difficulties and the fact that my football team lost, in the grand scheme of football, it's all over for me. But in the grand scheme of life, it's calm. So I hope that's the biggest problem going through everyone's mind at this moment in time. I don't want to waste any more of your time purely because mad things were going on. So yeah, what should we do? 11. That's 11:36. Let's get into the transfer news. Early doors, man. There's no point wasting any time. Any talking points, questions, thoughts? Get them all in, man. You ain't no OG round these sides, where I don't know about your thing. I don't know about that. Let's start with this first, in fact. Let's start with the cappuccino. Now I hope that there's peas to spend, but we all knew when we got rubbed out of Champions League. Basically, we all knew the stories that were going to start filtering out of the football club and the ones that were going to start, becoming a thing. We all knew. So it is this because some people are still waiting. I'll do that in a sec, man. That's their business. Arsenal to hand Mikel Arteta significant summer transfer budget, even if they miss out on top four. I mean, we've been spending money. Can we spend correctly? Because I'm not going to turn on Ben White. I think he's a good player for us. I think he can be better for us. But at the end of the day, 50 million for someone that's played one season in the top flight. Of course, we want a ball playing centre half. He's that. But we need, no matter, I always say it, no matter how much the game develops, defenders need to defend. Ben White doesn't necessarily think like a defender at this moment in time. Liverpool got Konate for 35 million. We paid the English tax, and ultimately, what was it for? Part of me thinks, you might as well swap him. Ben White and Tomiyasu might as well swap positions. So spending money has never been a problem for Arsenal per se, beyond the obvious is spending correctly. Whether Liverpool have spent 70 odd million on Van Dijk or 32, 35 million on Konate, or maybe there's probably even cheaper options that they brought in, buy correctly. They have a system, they know who they want. It's like we sign players and then try and figure it out after, which to be fair, last summer was all right. But spending isn't just spending for the sake of spending, isn't going to get us to where we need to get to. You look at our bench a couple of games ago, we had a 72 million pound man and we had a 52 million pound man on the bench. If you ask Pepe and ask Arsenal fans about Pepe and Lacazette, you're going to get different answers. The same goes for 35 odd Granit Xhaka. And then we throw in Marie Willian, who might not be blockbuster budgets, but have taken significant wages. When you do cheap things, you buy twice over, man. I wouldn't say I'm convinced with Ben White. I like him. I'm not convinced. Convinced for me is, man, know you're a certified defender. I see why he was bought. But yeah, man, I wouldn't say I'm significantly convinced as per se. I'll give you players here, but you're a baby in football in terms. As I said, this is his second full season in the Premier League, if I'm correct. And when he's been playing in the Prem, he's had people holding his hand. You look at Leeds, man were holding his hand when he was a right back. Brighton, he had Dunk and Webster and Duffy and all these guys. We're now expecting him to just be a leader in this team. It's not going to work, It's just not going to happen. So buy correctly, really and truly, is my thing. Arsenal will back manage like their club's top four collapse. In the Premier League, the Gunners lost 2-0 at Newcastle on Monday night to fall 2 points behind rivals Tottenham in the race to finish fourth of this season. It appears Arsenal will miss out on the Champions League place and the vital revenue the competition generates. However, according to the Telegraph, bosses at the Emirates are planning to supply Mikel Arteta with a significant sized war chest, regardless of whether they clinch the top four or not. Oh, yes, the granted war chest. Now, again, spend correctly. And to be honest with you, top four was a dream. Sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. That's it. That Beyonce song. That's the vibe I get from Arsenal. Champions League would have been a beautiful thing, a sweet dream. Right now it's a beautiful nightmare. Is that I can't lie. There are some things to be positive about at Arsenal Football Club, but we're doing what we're doing, where we give you 5 reasons to have some optimism, and then 5 reasons to think, what's going on? And potential is just potential. We've all got potential, in life. So. All right, we probably expected to fall within the top 6, specifically maybe focusing on 5th and 6th. That's probably in line with what was going to get Arteta a new deal, with what the project was, and probably the next step in buying a couple of players. What's his name? Edu did speak about how, we could look to sign. I do think people took it literally, but we could look to sign less players because we're moving ahead, sort of thing. I think you need 2 players that significantly improve this team, bar the obvious. You need a midfielder. Physical presence, creative presence. Just our midfield next season needs to stand for something. We're not great defensively. We're not physical bullies. We're not artists. We're just messing about. Goals win you games. Defense wins you titles. It's a midfield battle, game in, game out. We're not necessarily scoring, so it's without saying that we need a striker. We need midfielders. We need Partey and Tierney. I love them, but they're flight risks. Them and they might as well have criminal records because they can't travel with us. They never fit. fall off approach. I don't want to keep doing this waffle thing about, oh, we had injuries to key players. What do we expect? I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Injuries to a footballer or to a football manager is like a chef crying that he's cut his hand. It's not making sense. Of course, some injuries derail a season and things, but we've seen this how many times at Arsenal. Months ago, I said we should be positively pessimistic. By all means, we should do what we should do this Disneyland Channel thing of letting players step up and whatnot. But we should expect injuries. We should expect this. We've been here. We're Arsenal fans. We know how this thing goes with injuries. You know, I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared. We've gone into the winter with no jacket on, and now we're complaining we're cold, where we should have gone outside with beer jackets to the point where we're boiling. Only, you know how special you have to be to know you need to do business in January and then come out less equipped and then lie to ourselves about save wages. Don't get it twisted. I do see the logic in save wages, not buying players for the sake of it, but we're kidding ourselves. You're kidding yourself as an Arsenal fan if you honestly believe that that January transfer window was positive. It weren't. It wasn't. Let's not lie. It's okay to be honest. 53 likes. Can we keep going, people? So probably in line with what we're going to do. Probably have to adjust targets, or really, you know, surely, if anything, when did top four become a legit talking point at Arsenal? Because surely that's when we've adjusted targets and started to think, oh, you know what, we might be able to get this guy and that guy. Surely the bulk of the planning should have been centered around being in the Europa League. I don't know. That's just me, innit? According to the Telegraph, bosses at the Emirates are planning to supply Mikel Arteta with a significant-sized war chest, regardless of whether they clinch top four or not. The club's show of support will please Arteta, who has watched his team struggle to cope with high-profile injuries in recent games. But we can't. You know what? You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion. You know, because of course injuries have played a part and have derailed our season beyond the obvious and the other factors. But we're having it both ways. This wasn't said 3 games ago. Man was saying El Nene's played better than Partey's ever played. People were gassing up Cedric. You're saying we didn't need a right back. You know, when we beat Chelsea, United, and West Ham United without key players, which none of us could have seen coming, let's have it right, no one was saying anything. And I know sometimes you're able to do that, but that's the season. We can't have it both ways. And then now that it's gone shaky, we're crying and that. And if I'm honest with you, against Newcastle and Tottenham, of course, if we had Partey and any player that isn't fit, we'd be significantly stronger. But is that why we bottled it? Is that why we bottled? Did we lose because we didn't necessarily have Partey and Tierney? Have them two have not been, not to belittle their contributions. You know, my thing, Tierney is our captain. You know, I love Partey, but they've been part of Colassins. They've been part of Colassins this season. They've been there when we've crumbled. It's always the dons that are not involved that are the things. And these things happen in the season. Once again, of course, it derails the season. But what are we talking about? You know, what are we talking about? And it did, but we never lost. No, we didn't lose to Southampton because we never had no Tierney or top Partey. We never lost to Brighton because of that. We moved XHAKA out of midfield, put him left back, put 2 lightweights in Odegaard and Smith Rowe in midfield with an inexperienced Lokonga against a back 5, against an experienced Graham Potter. Do you think it's going to happen? Obviously, I do think we needed the mandem at Crystal Palace, but we got savaged, didn't it? Absolutely savaged. Absolutely savaged. The Barla and Litoro to Spurs. That's good for them, man. I'm just focusing on my club. I'm trying to watch no one else's team. While El Nene and Nketiah have done well since coming into the side, the Gunners' last 2 losses to Newcastle and Tottenham have revealed both players' limitations. Of course, El Nene was toothless against Tottenham and Newcastle. His 4-5 game drip is done. Nketiah, I'm not really onto him because what could you do, really? When you got no midfield, it's a myth. Mikel Arteta is expected to sign at least 1 striker in the summer, with Manchester City's Gabriel Jesus heavily linked with a move to the Emirates. Meanwhile, Telemans and Ruben Neves are also reported targets in midfield, with both set to leave when the transfer window opens. But the North Londoners will find it hard to attract their top targets without the lure of Champions League. Disagree. I understand, you know, if Neves wants to go Champions League and Telemans, but them two are hardly fucking hell. Them two are hardly players that can tell us Champions League or not and put the money on the table. You know, there's wages, there's London aspect, there's things to attract it. Gabriel Jesus, the same sort of logic. I still think you can get these players without it. Does it put you back at the back of the list? Does it make you less attractive? Of course. More important. This season, Arteta has often described what a return to Europe's top table would mean for the club, and he was frustrated after the defeat at St James's Park. Well, we're frustrated more than you'll ever be, babe. What are you lot saying? No point getting a striker if we ain't getting midfielders. They're going to be starving up top. We create no chances. Trust. I don't know who, but our next striker, I want them to be a physical presence with their back to goal and things like that. Because as you saw against Newcastle, Eddie, nothing to do with Eddie. It's more dumbness with our team. You're just booting it long against a team that's already physically bigger than us. We're going to struggle, innit? Ideally, someone that could create their own goals as well. But that's, yeah, man. It's the same old story every damn window. Partey and Basuma would be an interesting combination. It would be. I'm not trying to have that as our starting pivot week in, week out, but I'm defo with that. There is too much talk about potential signings and how much we can spend, plus dramas on and off the pitch. Arsenal should be quiet and do what they need to do and move on. Top four is very important to ensure the club is able to attract signings that will strengthen the team, unless scouting is good enough to find gems. I bet Jesus will not be at Arsenal next season. Maybe, whether he's signing or not, play until he's holding the shirt, it is what it is. But it's we're just talking about it. We speculate. That's it. Unai Emery was sucked. I think you mean sacked for the same thing, but you're gonna have to take it up with them, really. We can't string three passes together and lose position too much and get bullied. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. January, we failed to prepare for this run-in. Exactly. Your team is only its strongest at its weakness, in my humble opinion. We didn't strengthen in January, and it's come back to bite us. Benny Blanco is a great player, but he's young. I don't know about great, but he's a good player, but he's young. He'll only get better. Yeah, we will, man. But we still need that experienced head, as me and you keep talking about, Charlie. Matip for free as well. And look how he's coming. Look at the depth. No point being in the comp anyways, never gonna win it. We might never win it, but that's that's no excuse to not want to be in it. Boy, I can't lie. That's some silliness, That's like telling Barté and all them teams to not want to get in there. It's silliness. I know Liverpool have a great history with the Champions League, but there was a significant period you lot were doing fuck all in it and still qualifying, much like us. So I mean, I understand the banter, but like just for the people in the backs, chatting shit, really, aren't you? And obviously, we know the financial aspect that it gives you. What I didn't get versus Newcastle was the obvious tactic was to use their aggression against them, retain the ball, and let them run themselves in the ground. But we kept punting it because these players are shook, bro. Arsenal are just killing me. I'm not confident about the business we'll do in the market. Eddie fills me with no confidence. I agree, but I'll give everybody a chance until the end of September. Beginning of September, end of August. Everyone gets a half-decent chance from me, and then past that, what I do care about is no excuses. You've got none. I don't Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. I don't care. Darwin, Jesus, Martinez, this guy says no, that guy says no. You got to come home with something because, again, you have to have known this is the territory we're at. It's crazy, man. I'm from Canada and we've got big support over here, but I think people are going to start to bandwagon away if we don't do good next season. One thing I don't like about Arsenal, we know there's people that push positive nonsense and there's people that push negative fuckery, but at the same time, asking a question, being critical, criticizing does not mean you're bandwagon, does not mean you're agendaing. It does feel like when we're doing well or when you can never rein it in with positives. If we just consider certain things are going on, you're seen as negative, etc., etc., etc. We can't live in la la land, man. Where it rains, there has to be, there has to be sun. Where the sun's there, it has to rain in it, or you're gonna either get famine or crops are not gonna grow. If it rains all the time, crops aren't gonna grow. That's why you can't just shit on these young players all the time. You can't just gas them, or crops are gonna dry. Players are gonna start thinking they're better than they are, stagnate, die, essentially. In a footballing sense. That's great for Liverpool. I don't really care. But again, you're kind of being a hypocrite, Danny, because again, financially, if Liverpool do not win the Champions League, there you have it. Like, you made 80 million. That's a whole reason for wanting to be in Europe. Not that I'm caring about finances. Like, we can't act like the Champions League qualification has not become lucrative for the sake of it. It's not making sense. Please, sensible conversations. But yeah, away from that, that's this budget thing allegedly. What's this saying? Stan Kroenke to hand Mikel Arteta Arsenal transfer war chest regardless of Champions League spot. Mikel Arteta is expected to be backed in the transfer market as the Gunners look to build on progress made this season, with Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke reportedly sanctioning a large budget. Wait, let's see. As per the Telegraph, failure to qualify for next season's Champions League won't prevent the club from investing heavily in the first team squad this summer, with Arteta desperate to recruit a handful of quality additions to his young team. Qualification would have given them more financial firepower, but the report adds that they will still have a meaningful budget to work with despite their financial difficulties in recent years. Outgoings, obviously it's difficult because you can't really bring people in without letting people go. You can't really let people go without bringing people in, but they're not going to fetch significant sums, but you got to deal with Leno, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Hector Bellerin, Lucas Torreira for minimum. See what's going on with Reece Nelson. We're not going to get nothing for Pepe, but that's something that needs to be addressed. Pablo Mari is doing everything he can to stay at Udinese permanently. I don't expect him to do everything. One man in his team can't do everything. No team. I'm sure if you asked every manager, even when they've had a great transfer window, could they have done more? Do they want to do more? The answer would have probably been yes. So it is what it is in that regards, man. We'll have to see. Football.London also understands that there will be a summer rebuild job at Arsenal. Rebuild 99, episode 99, with several being targeted ahead of the transfer window. Sorry, people. What is it telling me here? What's StreamYard saying? Getting an alert. It's all this alert. Sorry, folks. You've been giving me problems all day. All day, we're giving me problems. Your video. One sec, people. Technical difficulties the whole day is getting a bit mad, ain't it? All right, I think we're good again. Sorry about that, folks. Let's get back into it. Football.London also understands that there will be a summer rebuild at Arsenal with several players being targeted ahead of the transfer window. Mikel Arteta's targets include a marquee signing in Gabriel Jesus, with the Gunners confident of landing his signature. Arsenal first made inquiries for Jesus in November, with Edu maintaining a close relationship with the player's agent and Ford himself. I hear that, but he might turn off his phone. So surely, what? When did Champions League become a thing? Probably around November, that probably became a thing, but we're too volatile. There's no way you could have sat with Gab Jesus' agent or anyone that's coming to this club and given assurances about Champions League. So it shouldn't, you'd imagine that's a conversation that's been held, and the same extends to Telemans, who we heard in January, his agent was at London Coley and potentially Arthur Melo. They're interested in Bologna left back Aaron Hickey following his impressive performance in Serie A. Arteta wants a versatile left-sided defender to bolster his defense this season, with Tierney currently on the sidelines after undergoing knee surgery. Tomiyasu was forced off injured against Newcastle, having just returned. Maybe we need to look at what we're doing or not doing with these players' rehabilitation, their workload in the week, their training, their fitness. I'm no medical man, doctor or whatever, but something's got to be going wrong. The Gunners have also agreed to sign Marquinhos for about $3 million. The 19-year-old will join the club this summer. Telemans is also a target, and it is vital that the youngest squad in the Premier League strengthen the squad with more experience. The right experience, because, bro, there's experienced players there. I'm doing El Nene dirty, with the exception to the of El Nene, because he's actually somewhat decent at times. But El Nene, Cedric, Marie, these guys have been in around. You've got experienced players. Just stop signing shit dons. Like, the experience thing is irrelevant. The youngster thing is irrelevant if man are not good. And just because you're experienced doesn't mean you're not allowed to make mistakes. Just because you're young, it doesn't mean you can keep making mistakes and not learning. Arsenal's summer plans are testament to how much the board believes in Arteta and his vision. If they get things right in the market, the Gunners will be able to push on next season. You need to push on regardless, bro. Fuck, what are we talking about? Yeah, obviously we need to sign players, but you get the point. So there's that. Should we see what's going on in Arsenal news again? Well, I've got more tabs, but we've got more things to discuss, but still. I'm trying to hear that. Roma to be getting Dybala. So that's a blow. Apparently, Arsenal slowly convinced to sell Gabriel in unexpected transfer. I don't believe it, but everyone's got a price. Arsenal are coming around to the idea of selling Gabriel in the summer transfer window, and what would be a shock decision, blah, blah, blah. Then on top of needing to buy about, if I could, a midfielder or two, a striker or two, a fullback or two, You're gonna have to now buy a left-sided centre half where you've just shelled out 50 million quid to go with the 30 on Ramsdale to marry them two with Tierney, Gabriel, and obviously Tomiyasu for 16 million. I can't begrudge Juventus. Juventus is a big club. Everyone's got a price tag. It is what it is. Arteta is considering, if you do sell him, you need to get that Lukeba brother, the young left-sided centre-half from Lyon. That's the only way I'll condone this. Arteta is considering letting Gabriel leave the club in the summer transfer window, with Juventus interested in acquiring his services. According to Toto Sport via Sports Witness, the old lady are very interested in the Brazilian to bolster their defence. They're looking at a replacement for Chiellini. I mean, last time I checked, he wasn't a troubled star. And a few weeks ago, they were talking about giving him a new deal. All right, fair enough. Apparently, Juventus also have Arthur Melo as a potential sweetener in the deal. I mean, either you buy doesn't make sense. So it is what it is. That's what they've said there, people. Make of that what you will. Arsenal still in the running to sign Gabriel Jesus despite Champions League woes, with agents saying striker in no hurry, as he shouldn't be. You've got 6 clubs. Your next move is decisive. You're 25 years of age. You've got to consider the World Cup. I'm not saying Arsenal won't be attracted to you. Won't be attracted to Arsenal, but reality is we've got nothing that makes us stand out. So if you don't get him, move on. His agents are in no hurry to sort the players' futures out after Arsenal's Monday night collapse. Scum Sport reported last week that the Brazilian striker wants to stay in England, with his reps trying to sort a move away from Man City this summer. Arsenal were seen as favourites to snap up the 25-year-old, who only has 1 year left on his current deal, having already initiated positive talks for a 40 to 50 million pound move. They understand the players' agents are not in a rush into making a decision and are keen for the player to end on a high with City before deciding on his next move. Jesus' agents have already admitted to being fans of the project Mikel Arteta is doing, has built, and as well as suggesting the Premier League is the NBA of football. So if that is, I swear, again, for us NBA fans out there, a new team wins it everything in it. So with that, maybe the Champions League, it should be the biggest draw for any top level player, but it might not be what makes or breaks this deal. I don't think we're getting him, but it is what it is, isn't it? Until I see people holding shirts and saying they used to watch Arsenal when they was young, and that it's a myth. It's been made clear to Sun Sports by Jesus' team that although the Champions League is a major attraction, they have not completely ruled out a move to the Emirates, and Arsenal are hopeful that ex-City assistant Arteta's relationship with Jesus could be key. Jesus is unlikely to stay at City after the signing of Haaland. People, clubs in Italy, Germany, Spain are also keeping tab of the situation, people. And apparently we saw on the Athletic, they have tried to sell him in the last 4 or 5 windows to no avail, folks. Going all the way back, so there's that. What's this about Cody Gakpo? Anything can happen this summer. I will now calmly compare all options and see what works best for me. Staying for a place where I can never get minutes and therefore miss the World Cup. I will keep that in mind. I mean, I do think there's plenty of minutes for you to get at Arsenal, mate. Sleeping out. Remember when we was bringing off Tavares off the bench to play left wing? It's crazy. Gakpo's decent. Bit concerned with the injuries and that. And, that's probably a shot at Liverpool because you might not play as much as you want. Arsenal and Liverpool target Cody Gakpo admits anything can happen this summer regarding his future. But the Dutch Player of the Year insists he must be playing regularly ahead of the World Cup in Qatar. You might as well go United. But I'm sure an ex-Dutch striker of United can tell you all about the club. Arsenal have held talks with PSV star Cody Gakpo over a summer move. Man United and Liverpool have also been linked with the 23-year-old Dutchman. He made his debut at Euro 2020. He wants to go to the World Cup. He has scored 21 goals and set up 15 in 47, and he's their captain. He said he will calmly assess his future, and he's not ruled out staying. Apparently, we held talks with the international. He's expected to cost 30 to 40 million over a summer move. Man United, Liverpool, Bayern Munich and Barcelona have also been linked with the 23-year-old who once again has 21 goals and 15 assists in 47 games to his name for PSV Eindhoven. Gakpo has now revealed he's open to a move so long as it does not jeopardize his place in the Holland squad for the Qatar World Cup this winter, having made his debut for the country at Euro 2020. Anything can happen. I will now calmly compare all the options and see what is best for me. Staying another year is also an option. It'd be a shame if I went somewhere where I couldn't get a job at all. and I could miss the World Cup, I'll keep that in mind. Which is why I understand why you, Nkunku, a lot of players, even Saliba staying at Marseille on loan, maybe even Conor Gallagher staying at Crystal Palace or going back to Chelsea. You know, again, all of these players have got into international recognition via playing. You go to other teams, it might boost your chances of going to the World Cup as well, but it might obviously knock them back a bit. So there's a 83 likes. People keep running that up, man. You lot are moving mad still, but it makes sense. He's got a lot. The young man's got a lot to consider in it. I don't begrudge him. I'd rather not be him. You know, Jesus, everyone. It's the same logic with Jesus as well. Everyone's got a decision to make, people. Apparently, a new study published by these lot claim Gakpo with a 42 million valuation that would not appear out of reach for Premier League sides, and Gakpo revealed his desire to play in the English top flight and his admiration for Arsenal and their record goal scorer Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry said, "You got more blood in your hands. You made a bunch of us Arsenal fans. You got blood in your hands, mate." The Premier League is a big league. Virgil van Dijk plays there with Liverpool, so I like to watch them. And he's always talking about Texan Henry as well. We're not the same kind of league, but I think we try to look at the Prem and learn about it. Everyone wants to play one time in the Prem. I don't favour one team, but I like Arsenal a lot. Come on, it's okay. I looked up to Henry when I was younger because he was a tall guy who played on the wing. Fair enough. So yeah, people, it is what it is. He's doing. They renewed his contract until 2026. They're in a position. The Gakpo will, of course, not stay in Eindhoven forever. He'll go to a top club in a top league in the future. Or will that happen next summer? That's hard to say. So we'll have. It's hard to say. It really is. Arsenal inquire from one Dutch don to another. Arsenal inquire about Memphis Depay as Mikel Arteta adds fifth striker to wish list. I wouldn't be against Depay, can play in a bunch of roles. Obviously, with losing Lacazette, probably Pepe and Aubameyang, he comes with the drip. Obviously, he might come with a point to prove. I can't imagine, because his contract is running up in a year. I can't imagine he's going to cost that much. So I wouldn't be against it. I'm not necessarily for it, but I wouldn't be against it. We could definitely do a lot worse. Arsenal are likely to sign two strikers this summer. Lacazette and Eddie are out of contract at the end of the season, and we know Aubameyang left in January. Jesus is a top target for the North London club. The Telegraph claims Jonathan David, who I think has finally got 2 goals in 2022, Tammy Abraham, who I can't see us doing that with no Europe, the Champions League, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are all targets. A fifth forward Arsenal have shown an interest in is Depay. Spanish outlet ABC claims the Gunners have submitted an inquiry about the former Manchester United star. Apparently, West Ham and Juventus are also said to be interested in him, people, who obviously joined on a free transfer from Lyon to Barcelona last summer. He's got 12 goals and 27 appearances this season, but following Aubameyang's arrival, he's often had to play out wide, in which in the last 18 months, he's probably become more of a central player. Depay only signed a 2-year contract at Barca, so his current deal expires at the end of next season. Barcelona's financial situation means they are willing to sell a number of their first-team squad. Getting a fee for a player would be attractive for Barca, having signed him for nothing last year. Depay's previous spell in England did not go to plan. He joined United in 2015 for a few successful as he or the Red Devils expected. So there's that. I mean, you lot said Bamford was linked to Arsenal. Can't see any of that anywhere. Yeah, I can't see any of that anywhere, so I'm not going to speak on that. We'll get back into that in a sec. Depending where you're looking at it, Arsenal facing competition for Hickey, people. Arsenal face Newcastle, which again is going to be a crazy one for us, people. We're going to have to see what's going on there. I can't begrudge him for wanting to join Brentford or Newcastle. I mean, didn't Newcastle just sign Target? Brentford could be an attractive proposition, so could we. And it's good for Bologna if there's a breakout in terms of a bidding war, because there's more money for them. A bidding war is breaking out for Bologna left back Aaron Hickey, as Arsenal seemed close to a deal but faced competition from Newcastle United and Brentford. Milan and Napoli had shown an interest in the Scotland international but won't be able to compete with the salaries on offer in the Premier League. It could also be an opportunity for Hickey to move closer to home after 2 years in Italy. He turns 20 in June and was signed for 1.7 million euros from Hearts 2 summers ago, people. He's got 5 goals and an assist in 35 Serie A games, people. There had been reports over the last few days in Italy that Arsenal had already done. Mail Sport now maintained that a bidding war has erupted, with Newcastle and Brentford joining in to threaten Arsenal's hold of Hickey. He had been close to Bayern Munich in 2019, but wanted a move where he'd be guaranteed regular playing time to aid his development, which was certainly provided by Bologna. That it says there. That's the first one. Again, Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal preparing their opening proposal for Gabriel Jesus. They've had conversations with his agent. Not having Champions League could be a factor, but Arsenal want to continue to push and offer Jesus an important contract. Man City want 50 to 60 million euros, people. Arsenal set to miss out on Aaron Hickey transfer as Brentford close in on £13 million deal. Brentford are leading Arsenal in the race to sign Scottish sensation Aaron Hickey, reports say, people. According to the Daily Mail, Brentford are now favourites to sign him in a £30 million deal, despite losing out on Hickey would be a blow to Mikel Arteta, who envisioned the Scotsman making a interested in signing Hickey before he left. He left Hearts 2 years ago and are in desperate need of cover at left back, with Tavares struggling to provide an adequate replacement for Tierney in recent weeks. I told you lot from the jump what was going to happen with Tavares. People did not minding us about our lack of Champions League and whatnot. I'm sorry, but we can sign Aaron Hickey without Champions League football. Let's not do any of that, man. Let's not do any of that. So there's that. Again, Arsenal face transfer battle for Bologna defender Aaron Hickey, with Newcastle and Brentford entering the race. So there you have it, people. You know, Brentford have had a long interest in the former Hearts star. They're now ready to turn their admiration into a concrete offer. Arsenal's position higher up the table, then Brentford won't guarantee them Hickey's signature. He rejected Bayern Munich in terms of Bologna. So you know what? Do what's best for your development. Do what's going to get you into the Scottish side and all of that. Fair play. You can't sign him, sign another Don, innit? Simple as that, really. Away from that, though, people, youngster fires message to Mikel Arteta. Miguel Aziz wants to play first team football. I can't begrudge him. We're going to look at that because I've got that on another sheet. Depay added to striker shortlist. Arsenal are in desperate need of a striker and have already identified Gabriel Jesus, Tammy Abraham, Jonathan David, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Blah, blah, blah. Arsenal deny Aaron Hickey links, people. Despite reports suggesting that Aaron Hickey is closing in on a move to Arsenal, the links are not true according to the Times, people. We'll have to see. Spence better suited to Spurs. I don't know about that. I don't care about Spence. We're not going to get him. Pepe heading for an exit. Charles Watts reckons he's played his last game, which, I mean, is hardly groundbreaking news. El Nene's reiterated his want to stay at Arsenal. Dybala has dealt a blow to Arsenal and any clubs interested in him. Gundogan, we spoke about him on Twitter. Arsenal once again set to allegedly spend big. We've been offered him Titi with Saliba's future uncertain. Yeah, let's sign him. We've already wasted money. Let's waste some more money on a 28-year-old who can't stay fit. Yeah. Arsenal's substantial Hickey offer, despite reports in England suggesting Arsenal are not close to signing Bologna's Aaron Hickey. The Italian media believe there is tangible interest from the Gunners. In fact, they've reported that we've submitted a £20 million offer for the 19-year-old. Yeah, it said we considered that. Edu is willing to let Pablo Mari join Udinese as part of a player plus cash deal to sign Molina, a right back Tig. I mean, I never saw Arsenal linked with Milinkovic. For being linked with Milinkovic-Savic. Yeah, you lot seen that before? I ain't seen that one. Can't verify that one, but all right, fair play. Betis and Arsenal have no agreement over the permanent transfer of Bellerin, which is significantly if he wants to seal that move. Pardon me. I mean, gonna move him on. So yeah, Telemans is still on the Gunners' radar. Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah, tired of speaking about that. So yeah, it seems it is what it is in that regards, folks. You know, that seems to be the transfer news, really. That seems to be it all. What are you lot saying, people? I've been airing you lot for a second. It's unfortunate. I just want to get through it just because when people watch it on the replay, it makes it 10 times easier for them to just do what they're doing. 101 likes. There's 272 of you locked in. If we don't get to 200 likes, unexpected high bills due, mate. If you've hit the like button, God bless you, lot. Much like Saka used that England premise to get better, this group of young players will use this disappointment to build character. I hope so. I hope so, my guy. I really do. Basuma seems too good of an option for us to not go for him. Trust. If you could choose Jesus or Dybala, who you going with? Jesus, because he's more likely to score goals, in my opinion. See Tomiyasu get fried twice, Jota and now St. Maximin. Fair enough. You know what? He's not invincible. Are we really surprised when a player gets, a winger gets the better of a fullback? I know football runs with agendas and stuff, and, United fans were clinging on to Sancho ripping Cedric. We all laugh when, we rip their players and all these others. But, I mean, what do we expect? He's not invincible. World-class players have been ripped by players. So, it is what it is. And if we're able to count on one hand the games where he's been fried, then it's calm. Do I expect? Of course, you're gonna find it tough against Jota. Of course, you're gonna find it tough against Maximin. Speaking of United, remember the Old Trafford game? I know football fans like to be black or white. If the fullbacks had a good game, the winger's been crap, or the winger's been good, so the fullback's crap. If you don't remember, Tomiyasu had a very good game. It was a very good battle between Jadon Sancho, who's gonna be so much better next season, and Tomiyasu in that game. Sancho was good, and so was Tomiyasu. What do the man expect? To lock it down for 38 games? Man are human, Like, I hear it though. No quality players want to play for Arsenal. We have to just sign other ones then. That's good. That's good, man. Wonder what Mikel's targets will be for next season. The board cannot keep lowering the standards. Trust. You need to be for qualifying for Europe or a proper fight to it. Man telling themselves anything to cope. Deep down you want to hear the champion. Trust. It's all brazy, bro. Like, hella comments. Just clarifying the numbers. All right. Weird flex, but okay. I don't really care how much money Liverpool's made it. You're just proving the point once again of if Arsenal aren't going to win anything in the Champions League, why there's benefit for not just us, Spurs, United, for being in it. Better to save ourselves from being humiliated in the Champions League with a lack of depth. I hear that, but anyone that's saying that is chatting shit, man. You just want to be in the Champions League, bro. Sadly, most fans there can't be balanced. I can care less for players. I care about Arsenal. Players come second. At the end of the day, the experienced players let us down. When needed, none of them stepped up. We have a good foundation with young dons. Build over the summer. We go again. Unpopular opinion, everyone's let us down. Young player, we're a team, bro. There's no you lot let us down and you didn't. We all let ourselves down. I hear you. I agree with that. For what it's worth, I agree with that. The young players have been overperforming. The very fact that we still, until this week, had hope of a top four wasn't down to them. We've overplayed Saka, over-relied on someone who's learning to score goals. Same with Smith Rowe. They're having a bit of a wobble. Ramsdale's the same. But we win, lose, and draw together. There's been times they're naiveties. You look back at Southampton. Saka Martinelli should have bagged. You score goals, the game changes. No one was saying that when Cedric had that little 3-4 games where he was doing all right, or when El Nene came in. I agree with you, Charlie, but we're in this thing together. We're all in this thing together. Simple as that. We all let ourselves down. Now, of course, I'm more critical of the experienced players because you haven't got too many years left. You're not going to have too many opportunities unless you lot go to European teams or European leagues. You lot which will not know what Champions League is. They're going to be here like us. Trust, you get more for being in the group stages of the Champions League, correct me if I'm wrong, than actually being in the Europa League. It's dead. And obviously, there's more games in Europa League. Obviously, the group stage, I wouldn't say you don't have to take it seriously, but you got Dundalk and all them sort of guys there. We can play the nobodies in our team and get away with it. But there's a fixture pile-up. There's going to come a point, inevitably, next season, unless we do a madness where we sit there and go, oh, man, do we focus on the Europa League because it gives us a chance of winning it and getting to the final, or do we kind of just focus on the league because we might be in with a top four shout? Where the reality is both. You need a squad, and this is where Arteta didn't learn his lessons the first time in Europa League. You need to give yourself 2 chances. One life is better than 2, innit? Really, go all the way in the fight. And again, to be honest, you can't even sit here and talk about Europa League because us, United and us, We don't know who's going to do whatever. You don't know who inevitably is going to drop out of the Champions League. I hope it's Conte because he doesn't have the best of records in Europe. So I hope they drop into this thing. You don't know what teams are going to drop in from the Champions League to Europa next season. So it's only going to be more difficult. And you're not going to have one game a week, which you still struggled. I told people you live in a fantasy if you think that just because we're playing once a week, we're going to survive this nonsense. It's crazy, man. Fans don't like balance. Yo, DG, well gone for your boy Curtis doing up Clark Kent. Shout out Curtis, man. I mean, that's a very, very, very expensive top to be ripping the Arsenal one, but the man there must be getting bread now, isn't it? So shout out Curtis. You're gonna have to take that out with him, man. You know, I don't know. I know I still got my Arsenal shirt. That crop analogy was elite, brother. Come on. Appreciate that. It's funny how the news of us having a war chest come out now. Trust. 200 million sounds nice, but I'll believe it when I see it. To be fair, I think it's quite realistic because that's probably what we would have spent last summer if we were able to get Tammy Abraham or one of them, Latoro or whatever. What we spent 150, we probably would have spent in the region of 200 or depending on what these lot would have arrived for. So, yeah, it all depends what you're going to spend it on. Because in my head, which isn't going to happen, our Arsenal discount probably means one striker, one centre mid. And in my eyes, you need 2 midfielders minimum, maybe even 3, but you need 2. You can get 2 number 8s and a 6 would be great, but 2 midfielders, 2 strikers, 2 fullbacks, that's about 6. If you could get a cut price little centre back that's a bit goes against the grain, a bit experienced, a cool head, fair play, and anything else Arteta wants. I mean, I can't lie. I don't understand the hate for Pepe based on the Newcastle game. Like the game was already done by then. Is Pepe frustrating? Yeah, but the game was already done by then. I don't understand it. Pepe's done. He's gone. But I don't understand. I don't understand why Pepe is catching a lot of heat specifically for that game. I don't get it. That by granted, the last game he came on before that, where he was trying to sabotage us, it might be just losing the ball, fair play. But I don't understand why guys are getting at him. It just seems like scapegoating. We need to ask the right question. I don't think Champions League is as big as a factor people think. For most of the players we are looking at, we're selling beans, not the beanstalk. Great example. How many rebuilds do we need? Trust, more rebuilds than I have Football Manager episodes and whatnot. It's crazy, man. But U to B, yeah, Gooner. We've had the least number of games to play. Squad depth in the squad was lacking, but something needs to change with the medical/protocol. Trust, but is it? I don't know, man. I big up my guy PM, man. Cedric was shocking on Monday. Don't know how he didn't get the blame for both goals. Yeah, the foul throw was done, but he was him, El Nene, Ben White. It's shocking, and this is what I mean by we concede poor goals. It's the sequences in play. It's the you might not be directly at fault, but the minute they look like they're gonna score, we're not thinking. Like we just. I mean, at some point, I have to stop getting at the players. They're not picking themselves. We know what time it is with Cedric. We know what time. Like, so when El Nene is not good enough against Joe Linton or losing out on headers against Leeds or getting bullied against Spurs, when Cedric is just fouling, man, conceding penalties, getting caught high up the field, stinking up the place, they're not picking themselves. At some point, I can't be mad at them. They're not picking themselves. This is the bed Arteta made. I don't know what they man show you at training. I definitely don't know what Cedric shows to be taking all these set pieces. He must be so lit at London Coley. They ain't even put it on none of them videos. You're picking this. But he ain't done that single-handedly because there's also been games Cedric's done all right. You know, we can't. Because even without his brain farts against Spurs and Newcastle, do we get anything from them games? I think on one hand, yes. I think on another hand, no. Because can I answer the question that we were perfect beyond that? And then you could, let's not lie. Ramsdale's made mistakes. Ben White's made mistakes. Gabriel's made mistakes. You know, Saka, Martinelli have made mistakes. It's not just the defenders. Mistakes happen. Mistakes are part and parcel of life. Mistakes are a given. Ironically, I wanted to see people make a bit more positive mistakes against Newcastle because it looked like people were just scared to even try a thing. What I'm not going to do is just blame players. Cedric's a dud, but as much as he's a dud... Fair man, a bit, bro. Even Charlie, you're right. Even before we talk about him, bro, Chambers. I don't know. Did Chambers get the bag at Aston Villa? Because he's just coaching on that bench. Chambers not the answer, but forgive me if I'm wrong. He was doing all right in his little appearances. You would have got it. Now, maybe these players wanted to leave. Oh, they did, obviously. They forced the boat out, and Cedric thought, you know what, I'm just going to sit around now. And then I'm just going to sit around. We did hear rumblings in Jan that they wanted to move, and then they all come out and say they wanted to stay. But you're right, bro. Is Ainsley Maitland-Niles a back three or even a back four? Is he a worse left back than Cedric? Probably not. Is he worse a worse right back? Is Chambers worse? You could have had Chambers, boy. You could have went to a back three after Holding was doing his Chuckle Brothers bullshit. You could have went to a back three against Newcastle. Other clubs didn't sell players, despite the fact that they could barely play. I swear Liverpool won't even let that Reece Williams you go on loan. The counterfeit Van Dijk, like Love Island tax. They won't even let my man go out on loan, and you're not bagging no game time there. They won't even let Joe Gomez leave. Joe Gomez he's a quality player, but he can't really. He played yesterday, but you're not gonna play too many times ahead of Trent. At least while Matip is there, and boy, you know what? Kanate is becoming a man monster. Boy, you're not playing really. You can rotate the squad and that, but you're not gonna really be in the team. How old is Van Dijk as well? But they're not letting him go, and they're probably 50 million for Ben White. I'd give them that for Joe Gomez if he could have. Well, Van Dijk is time's going quick, man. How old are you, Van Dijk? 30. I thought you was at least 28. But yeah, you're about for a hot minute. Depth is craved. Need a left back better than Tierney. We shot ourselves in the foot in January, but we've also shot ourselves in the foot with just doing stupid things in matches. You always say it, and you'll always say it as well. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, isn't it? If Marie's coming back, it's a madness, man. Deluded. How do you trust the process since 2006? There's been a process since 06. Just support my team, man. Losing Gabriel would be a big blow. Of course, to sign only one midfielder isn't enough, but Arsenal tax, I just have to hope. I think you need 2 to 3. 2 8s, guys that want the ball, and not just want the ball when the Emirates, the weather's nice and the grass is cut and the fans them are making noise. Specifically, games like White Hart Lane, Shite Hart Lane, games like Newcastle, games like Crystal Palace, where you might get 2-2 kicks in your face and whatnot if you're holding on to the ball too long. But I need that bravery. You want to turn consistently and look to dominate the game. There's many different ways to defend. Of course, there's just normal defending, which we're not really good at. But on occasion we'll press from the front. We're not really good at. Guys are pressing alone and they're just passing through us. How you hold on to the ball, how you manage the game, how you take the sting out of the game. We need some 8s that can do that. We clearly need another number 6, in my opinion. I got faith in Lokonga, but if you could go out there and get Basuma, which we couldn't, I'm all for that, especially with Partey being a flight risk. And the other places, we need a couple of midfielders still. The whole midfield needs to be revamped. Our best pivot is XHAKA and Partey. How many games they started together? There was games where, let's be honest, XHAKA held Partey's hands. There was games where Partey bossed it. It's flavour of the month stuff. To use Liverpool as an example, there's no flavour of the month. Thiago's going to be 30 the whole season. Milner's going to be. Henderson is. Fabinho is. Occasionally you might throw Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones in there to do whatever. What they give you, they're going to give you. Partey, the quality's there. I don't know if you're going to be about XHAKA. I do think you've been more consistent and given credit for, but we're at where we're at with XHAKA. I like El Nene for the 4 or 5 games, and you can do Europa, but you're kidding yourself if you think El Nene can be part of anything serious. Lokonga plays like this, deer in the headlights. Not ready right now, as much as I like him. A playmaker and a box-to-box. And again, as I said, our midfield don't stand for nothing. It's not physically dominating. It's not full of technicians. It's not just full of bare defensive dons. It's not full of artists. Our midfield is just dons just standing in the middle of the park. And you saw it against Newcastle. It's toothless, bro. El Nene bullied. XHAKA not in it. Odegaard bullied. Simply and respectfully. If you're getting, with reception to Guimaraes, who's sick, you're getting bullied by Joe Linton and Longstaff. The last time I saw Longstaff, he was linked with United. That's the only time I hear that guy's name. If you can't do it against them, or you can't do it against Jeffrey Slot playing centre mid for Palace, it's a myth. And if you lot can't deal with these sort of atmospheres, Forget all the new camps and all of them things. How are you gonna go to them Serbian games there and them Turkish grounds there and whatnot? You lot are gonna get rattled. Maddison would be lit because he could play a number of roles. And for me, he believes in him flipping himself. But the English tax, I mean, to be fair to you, we'd have done a lot worse. Why does Arsenal always speak loud for their targets card? This Hickey is what I'm talking about, always twerking for other clubs. I don't know, man. I don't know. To be honest, we actually don't know anything. But yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards. DG, can you take Sarr for Watford as a bench player? Yeah, but Myth. I mean, they're capping. I mean, to be honest, I could understand why he would want to play for Brentford. You're probably more likely to play and things like that. I mean, Brentford, bro, I can't lie to you. Tavares, you lot knew what time it was. I said, please go back into my videos from the summer. We sat here. I said, as a Sunday league right back, you just look for certain things. He said they asked him his strengths. He said, I like to shoot with my right foot. If a goalie does not talk about saving shots, are you not gonna have alarm bells? Tavares is a madman. He's still learning, but at times, as colossal and as pardon my language, as shit as Tavares is, sometimes I think he's been fed to the wolves. Sometimes I think he's just been left deserted out there. I don't even think he was the worst player against Newcastle, despite the fact that it's another game where he can't take a throw in. At some point, I have to stop getting angry at these players because they've shown you Newcastle away was probably one of Tavares' better games. He still had the throw in. You throw in West Ham, you throw in Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Man United away, Anfield. How many times has someone got to show you stuff? And for me, 8 million in football isn't a lot of money. But let's actually sit there and deep it now. 8 million pounds, 8 million Great British pounds has been sanctioned on this guy. Fair enough, Arteta said it was the analytical department, but it's not just one person saying, let's sign this. Bit like when we signed Renison, there's at least 5-10 people watching the clips, offering different examples and things. So no one thought, yo, he might be shit, Fair enough. Like, it's crazy, man. And to be honest, I'll never forgive Arsenal fans because they sat there and go, oh, he's got strengths that Tini doesn't. Good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. The thing is, we just need to be more physical. And it's not even, we need them strong men in that part. You look at half them City Dons, Bernardo Silva, these Dons don't get brushed aside easily. Like, Odegaard needs to do whatever they're doing. Like, we just get brushed. Like, Saka's probably one of the strongest in our team. We get brushed aside too easily. Way too easily. Big up DG, work rate is unmatched. I ain't your stepdad. Get out of here. Every day you're doing this. I legit think Arsenal will win the Europa League, which would make up for dropping 4 thoughts. Listen, I'll believe when I see us holding a trophy in it. I've seen these players play in a cup final and get collapsed. I don't know about that. If you want to get into a final, get to the final in it. We could talk. Lokonga's brother's agent saying he's happy where he is. I mean, Lokonga's probably played more than he thought. Absolutely brazy, man. Absolutely brazy. Absolutely brazy. Pepe been neglected. To be fair, could have been used a lot more, but yeah, man. I know Tierney personally, and he said he'd never join Arsenal. I hear that, bro. I hear that. He's going to be a bit angry at you for hotting up his business, don't you? Ain't it? We know a fact Spurs are going to drop. I don't know about any of that. Still hard after the Newcastle game. Nah, you just have to accept it. Like, at the end of the day, it's done, isn't it? Like, obviously, yeah, but it is what it is. What can you do? You can't go back in time. Agreed with you. Being in cadets, if you mess up in cadets, I think you mean if you mess up any cadets, if one person mess up, they all do. I hear that. But we do it together, bro. Like, unless you can show me one person that's been amazing for 37 games this season in an Arsenal shirt, then everyone could have done better. I don't like the blame thing. I agree with Charlie. It's more a comment for everyone because everyone likes to do this blame thing. If you think Jota and St. Maximin is bad, wait till you see Cedric's rap sheet, bro. Cedric's getting rapped by them. You see them olders on the estate that just try and take the little kids' football and do skills. That's who Cedric's rapping himself, bro. And even that against Newcastle, again, it comes down to squad management. As much as I think Tomiyasu got savaged and his calf got bust, Ben White and Gabriel might have been better, could have been better. End of the day, Ben White's had problems with injuries. He's probably not trained. He's putting body on the line. Gabriel the same. Tomiyasu's coming back from injury. Again, these players are meaty, but you're setting them up for failure. And it comes down to squad management once again. Have a feeling this summer window's going to be meaty. To be fair, we were saying that about last window. I just want to buy the right players, man. I'm tired of being unable to break down low blocks, being able to, not being able to physically impose ourselves, not being able to manage games. Just tired of not seeing players with the basic competencies. That's where I know Ramsdale might not get the bread now, but this is where for me, just seeing Ramsdale catch a ball, just seeing Tomiyasu behave like a right back, just seeing certain, even in recent weeks, Eddie and Kelly, I said it before, the Southampton game, I genuinely forgot what it was like to see a striker, running behind or work the channels and earn a foul. The bar is on the floor. That's why I can understand why certain fans start capping. The bar's on the floor. I shouldn't praise anyone for doing the basic competencies now, surely. Arsenal news aside, is this the most exciting the Premier League has been over the last couple of years? Probably, relegation not decided, the league not decided, Champions League not decided. No, I'm playing, man. Yeah, probably. If you could sign 3 players, who would they be for Arsenal? I don't know, man. Me, Messi, Mbappe. Now I'm playing. Mbappe free transfer, no? Now I'm playing. Martinez. Gabriel Jesus, Darwin Núñez. Osamawa. Quickly. Still not giving up on that, man. I know. I have to accept the hour things not happening, but come on, man. Still out here. 145 likes. Can we get to 200, please, people? Come on. It's all that about. Why is Eddie not using his Brazilian connection to bring up and coming stars from Brazil? I don't know, but to be fair, I ain't seen this Marquinhos brother, so he might be doing that. Give him a chance. I don't know, man. Maybe no one knows him. Need a midfielder and another winger. 3. Bring Arthur, man. Pepe has been given a raw deal. Pepe is being made public enemy number 1. Pepe is incredibly frustrating, but there are qualities he could have brought to the table. At the same time, I'm not going to sit here and lie, bro. At the end of the day, we got to this, should Saka be rested? Should Saka have competition? Of course, but we got to this top 4 fight until this week where, the last 10 days or whatever against Spurs and West Ham, where the Spurs and Newcastle, where there's been no reaction. We've got to it with Pepe being marginalized. So I do think fans try to have it every way, and that you want everyone to play and everyone to do this and that. Don't know what Cedric showed to be signed in the first place. Charles, he signed the Don when he's injured. His contract's running down. Somehow we said Southampton couldn't believe the fact that we gave them a loan fee. Top 4 in the trophy is a target for next season. No, Charlie. I know. I'm just saying in general, broski, because people what you said was an opportunity to preach to the masses there, not you. Can you not see, man, like El Nene and Cedric are holding on to dear life for their Arsenal career? Cedric is in every mix. There's not one pick you don't see Dookie fastening up himself. It's true. DJ, it's obvious that our team is soft and gets manhandled easily. Do you think Arteta will address? He needs to, bro. You need to, because at the same time, a team's a reflection of the manager. Jurgen Klopp, away from the obvious, you see when the grit, determination, you get it. Pep, you see it. Conte, he's changed the mentality to a degree at Spurs, Man United haven't got that. Arsenal haven't got that. That's why we're struggling. West Ham, David Moyes brought a bit of that in. There has been a bit more fight and grit, but at the same time, I just believe that. I can't sit here and tell you that. I think we've improved defensively somewhat, but the numbers are appalling and we're still making stupid decisions. I think there's been a bit more resilience. But how many times have we come back from behind? How many times have we gone into them sort of environments there, the Anfield, them sort of environments there, as you saw with Selhurst Park, with Tyneside, St. James's Park, with obviously Tottenham's ground as well, and crumbled, bro. That's resilience for me. That's what gets you trophies. If City, ironically, one of City's, I'm telling you, City will look back at the Arsenal game. You know, because that was a time they played twice a week. Arsenal were buzzing, trying to show some confidence, and they had to fight to the end. When Liverpool look back, if they win the league, they will look at the game against Wolves, where I think Origi came and done a thing. They will look at the Southampton game yesterday, 9 changes, coming back from behind. All these sort of, yes, Southampton tax, they've been poor. Ironically, the only team they've beat recently is us. It's this sort of thing. And at the same time, it's the players as well. The players have got to. You can tell the players buy into what Liverpool are doing. Klopp probably doesn't have to sit there. Klopp's probably just he tells them the obvious, and he's probably just a reassuring voice. The same goes for every week you see the City players. Every time they come off, they all argue with each other. Arr, arr, arr. We need to start doing these sort of things. It's like a couple of players want their hand held, a couple of players want to run away, a couple of players look shell-shocked, a couple of players just crumble, few managers pussy holes, let's be honest, the guys are soft. Like, football is way more psychological than people want to aspect, bro, because I'm not going to sit here and lie. There's technical ballers here. There's more to that, especially in the Prem. You need to do a lot more. Need a lot, bro. Where do you stand on Odegaard captaincy? I mean, be the captain. I would prefer Ramsdale, Tierney, a more conventional sort of captain. I'm not really on this any. I think we need to go back to basics. I think this whole lead by example thing, it's not that. I do think Odegaard can captain the side, but he's crumbled in the last couple of games. To be fair, I don't think Odegaard's been at the same pace since the latest international break. I still like the guy. Fantastic business. Signing him. Fantastic potential. But yeah, these are not my captains per se. Everyone looked nervous, man. I mean, Ramsdale's a 23-year-old goalie. He's going to look shaky. I'm not being funny. People used to call me negative when I said I rate Ramsdale, but he's doing these shaky things in these games when we're winning. Can you see us in the Champions League in 3-4 years? I can't look into the future. If we keep moving the way we're moving, probably not. I can't look into the future. I hope so. Can't wait for XHAKA to leave. Be a blessing, bro. Pepe has better scoring potential than current players, but that don't mean we move. Come on, man. Not giving up on our one, man. Not giving up on our. Bro, we got the best project in the Premier League. Our potential is beyond any team currently. Everyone trying to hate to support United. All right. No, XHAKA can stay, but if XHAKA is a key player, I can't lie. I say it all the time. For me, the one thing I was confident about with Arteta was midfield, because, bro, you was a midfielder. You was at La Masia. You've played with some great players at PSG. You played with some great guys at Arsenal. You've been surrounded in terms of coaching at Pep and that and City and that. I thought midfield would be addressed. Does midfield look any closer to being addressed since he walked in? Fair enough. I mean, you look at the competitors. You know, you can say what you want about Chelsea and Kante dropping off, and is Jorginho going to stay? But Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic is better than anything we can put together. Liverpool, City, it goes without saying, we'll be here all day talking about all their options. Bentancur has been Spurs' most important signing. You know, Romero's a revelation at the back there. Kulusevski's getting goals and assists, and he's a good player. But Bentancur has improved them. If they were just continuing with Højbjerg and Winks, we probably would have wrapped up top 4. So it shows you what you should have done in January, and it shows you that now you look at ours. XHAKA isn't a bad player. He's not. I actually think he's okay, but okay is not really the levels, really. You know, Partey's a flight risk, and truthfully, we don't really know what Partey's on. He'll knocks together some good games, and then it is what it is, really. So together, what's that? You lot can paint whatever picture with El Nene, not strong enough, not good enough, not consistent enough, beyond being a squad player. Lokonga, give him a discount because he's a young player, but that's a myth. Fair enough, innit? You know, like, fair enough. You need some hard food, man. Bro, you're having a bubble. Bubble about what? You're moving mad. So I'm not too sure on that one. Whatever you said. Speaking of, you know what? Yeah, I spoke about Arsenal needing to grow a pair of balls. Who better than Statman Baines, this spineless prat? Like, I'll see you at 2 p.m. You're spineless, bro. I hope nobody that when their team loses that puts their chat on followers only could ever have chat for, man. You're a spineless, shameless twat. I'll allow it, bro. Yeah, you are the living, breathing definition of what my team needs to get rid of. Spineless. Win, lose, or draw, it's A's up till I freeze up. We hold our meetings and we go again. We can never have a smooth season. Year after year, there's disappointment somewhere. Physicality and mentality is an issue throughout the squad. Arteta needs to address this. Gym sessions, hard food, and psychologists. Charles. But at the same time, the players, bro. Because when you look at Liverpool's players, a lot of them, of course, they want to succeed for Klopp, for their teammates, for their fans, yada yada yada. But Van Dijk, you can see he's a goal-driven person. You can see Trent is a goal-driven person. You can go around that whole squad and see that there's a certain mindset that they've arrested with themselves. There is a degree of Arteta being able to take you to the water and not being able to drink. By the way, Statman, we need to start at 2 p.m. on the dot as well. I got things to do, my guy. Just before you bust out. So yeah, there's a lot. Again, football is way more emotional and than people want to give him credit for. You know, you can't just keep waffling about technical ballers. I see you from Paraguay. I haven't seen Paraguay here before. Shout out to you, man. I believe Arteta. See, have a big community of Arsenal fans here. Come on, big up the shout out the Paraguay ones. Is it Paraguayan? I don't know, but shout out the Paraguay ones, man. Trust me. I mean, that could be it. Just start juicing, innit? Maybe that's why Klopp and Pep are excited. Just start juicing these players now, man. Just make the phone calls and just at the end of the day, you know, sometimes you got to cheat the game. We bloody moved from South London all the way to North, so we know about the dark arts. So this is what we need to do. DG, with Europa League football, what will the targets be now? The likes of Jesus and Telemans becoming now more likely to go to Spurs to play for Conte. I still think you could convince them, but to be honest, when did top four become a comment, bro? Like, up until like the turn of the year, latter end of 2021. So the bulk of the targets should have been drawn up. As much as I want sexy names, glamorous names, I just want the right players, bro. I just want players that I just like. Again, Tomiyasu got ripped against Newcastle, but he's a luxury to have with Tini when fit. Just guys that I know that you're just gonna do the basic. Don't know though, man. It's crazy, man. Trust. We just have to wait and see, man. This is what I tell people about Cedric and Nene and a few other players in that squad. But as soon as they have a good, because Arsenal fans, they this is why I find it hypocritical. A lot of Arsenal fans cry about the club having low standards, accepting mediocrity. If they listen to how they speak about how they try and throw out, listen, I'm a fan of being positive or negative where you see fit. I'm a fan of being honest. But fans find negatives where there's none, unnecessarily find positives where there's none. They'll hate on a player or say we need to get rid of a guy, He plays 3-4 good games, start working. At least hold yourself accountable. A lot of people talk about discipline and they don't. A lot of things that people demand of a football club or footballers, they don't ask themselves of in their personal lives. Beyond the obvious. No, the guy's a captain. He's just not the captain we need in them aspects. Yeah, Ramsdale was shaky. Soft, bro. Soft. Feeble, man. Soft underbelly. Nothing looks closer to being addressed since Mikel Arteta walked in. We're exactly where we were 3 years ago. Boy. Need that Bayern Munich juice. Need all of that. No, you didn't face your lasses. You ran, you pussy. Shut up, Statman, man. You're a pussy. You know that. You're actually a pussy. You're soft. You need to go get your boyfriend to take you on summers. You're soft. Them man, they're running. Steroid FC. Can't hate you. Can't beat him. Join them in it. Imagine if we got Victor Osimhen, Gnabry, and a hungry midfield, work on defending fundamentals with 2 decent fullbacks. I'd be happy, but it's a myth, sadly. Trust Dreamworld. The likes of Jesus and Telemans will look at Arsenal and think they'll make us a better team. We're in Europe. They'll be guaranteed tons of game time. Being the main men helps us step up. It's true. But at the same time, and I think they'll be interested. At the same time, if someone just goes Champions League, how can I help? Gone. No, my head's not gone. Does it sound like my head's gone? You don't. Why are you doing that now? You're doing what these internet boys do. You're rattled or you rattled. I'm just stating facts. You're a pussy. You put your chat on followers only. You wank over Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't hold your licks. You're shameless. You weren't even old enough to see United win. These are facts. These are literally facts. If that makes me rattled, hey, I'm rattled, bro. You're moving like them policemen. Are you being aggressive, mate? Yeah, you are. Are you swearing? We're gonna nick you. Crazy, Don. Shouts that man Payne, though. We should still be proud of the guys in some regards, but we fumbled at the pride is subjective. Shout out to you lot, but yeah, man. Empty barrels make the most noise. That's why Arsenal fans always giving it to United fans and vice versa. Because no team is making things happen. Put your chat on followers only actually helps. No, I'm not a pussy hole. Like, I'm not a pussy. Me and you are two different kettle of fish. I can't go out like that. Unpopular opinion, Gabriel has better ball play abilities than White. The amount of times he breaks the lines with accuracy is incredible. I hear you. I think it's quite even, but Ben White, he looks the part, innit? Once again, Chris, we're not moving up. Why XHAKA is thingy? I'm main done like that. It's a myth, man. It's a brazy one, man. What else are we saying? Interesting comments. Klopp influenced this mentality in his players. Man, I'm forgetting just the other day, Van Dijk was at Southampton. He definitely was goal driven back then. Again, exactly. You gotta wanna. I'll be honest, and I know I'm probably being a bit harsh. A lot of these Arsenal players don't look like they're playing for themselves. If I can't believe in myself, you can't believe in me. I can't believe in you know. If I can't believe in me, no one here can believe in me. Take YouTube as an example. If I didn't believe I could build a platform, no one's here right now. If these players don't believe in themselves, which a lot of them look like they don't, what's gonna happen? The manager can gas you up, but once there's a spanner in the works, you're gonna crumble, aren't you? We just need goals, bro. Come on, man. Eddie Nketiah has got to be not our top goal scorer, but he's got to be in and around that now, sniffing. You know, he's probably, you get it? How many goals have we scored? Like, goals win games. You can't score. You can't keep him out the back of the net. You're gonna be in problems, aren't you? So, pardon me, I'm proud to a degree of my young players. I'm only proud of my young players. Everyone else, it's a myth. You are a myth. Really. What else is going on in this world of football? If you let yourself down, you have to slap yourself, man. Because again, the variables that we can control, they've squandered it. You've let yourselves down, and I've been speaking all week, all season, about the feeling of regret, the feeling of regret, the feeling of regret. These are gonna have it. Well, some of you are gonna have some regrets. All I ask is that you give your all. You know, if you honestly leave a football pitch and say, "Boy, you know what? They were better than us, or he was better than us, or they were better than us." That's it, really. What more can you say? But there's too often than not, Newcastle were better than us, Spurs were better than us. But away from that, could you say you left it all there? Nope. That's why you're having what you're having, really and truly. In terms of other news, people, general thoughts. Let's call it that. 125. Some other 1-2 bits and pieces, people. What's this? This is about Nico Billick, Christian Billick. Nico Billick still won in GTA. Shout out to Christian Billick. High hopes for him. But apparently, people looking at this, I mean, if you want XHAKA to leave, he's not going nowhere. XHAKA unlikely to leave Arsenal amid Roma interest. I mean, if XHAKA is starting week in, week out, if he earns it, cool. But if he's the shooting and if you're making the team run through him next season, boy, I do think he's been all right this season. I'm just saying, if the midfield runs through XHAKA, you're going to get what you get in it. XHAKA is unlikely to leave Arsenal this summer. They're reporting that Roma are moving on, really, from him. Xhaka is coming towards the end of what perhaps has been his best season with the Gunners. He has silenced a lot of doubters. He has helped Mikel Arteta's side spend much of the business end of the campaign on pole position for full spot in the Premier League. So what, man, I guessing about taking out rentals? We rented fourth place for a sec. It has been a remarkable turnaround for the Swiss. It looked inevitable, that he would leave last summer. In fact, reports at one stage claimed he was one step away from joining Roma. Ultimately, he stayed and he has managed to contribute a lot. Nevertheless, there's been speculation about his future heading into the next season. And he's 29, turning 30. The biggest fear is that we're going to do, for me, is that we're going to do what we normally do. We'll wait and then move. We'll wait and then when we need it, when he wants to move, we'll be like, shit, we need a midfielder. We never stop problems or potential things before it happens. Like, to use Liverpool. Again, I don't quite think Jota is ever going to eclipse Salah, but he's an attacking sort of guy. They've got Diaz, or if they're going to take over the mantelpiece from Salah, but they're fixing problems before they've come a thing. Van Dijk is going to have to call it a day sooner or later. They probably will bring another centre-back in, but they've just brought in Konate. When I say just put in, is what it is. Reports have claimed that Roma still want the 29-year-old and Arsenal are open to selling him for 15 million. However, it would now appear that it's looking most likely that XHAKA will be lining up for the Gunners again, or Arsenal again. They've reported that they still want XHAKA. However, they add that the chances of him leaving now look incredibly slim. And you know what? I'm not against keeping hold of XHAKA. He just shouldn't be starting week in, week out. Like, Juventus director flies to London to meet Arsenal. The names on the agenda. I think this is Weston McKennie. Talk to Spurs about that. The Serie A giants are ready to discuss Arthur again after the Brazilian came close to joining in January. His agent confirmed last week that his client should leave the Turin in the summer. Weston McKennie is also among Arsenal's transfer targets. Bloody hell, I know we're going to America in the summer, but man, he's shit, man. Juventus are ready to listen to offers for the American international, especially if Pogba or Milinkovic-Savic arrives. Juventus could also offer Moise Kean to Arsenal. He's not in Maximiliano Allegri's plans, but they must make his move from Everton permanent over the next few months. On the other hand, Gabriel is not Juventus' only target at Arsenal as they look at Partey. We've shut the door to Partey. I don't think Gabriel's going there. I'm not on signing Weston McKennie. Fuck all of that. Could help us, but be real, I think it's shit. Midfielder, your best thing is running around. I always tell you that if you praise a midfielder for running around, then the ball's on the floor, really. If running around is the standout attribute, look at, again, to use Liverpool. Milner's sick because Milner can run around, but he's actually got technical ability. If he was just a workhorse, it'd be shit. I don't want people who are just going to work hard. Please allow me with that. Away from that, though, folks, as you lot can see here, or better yet, you will be able to see. Hey, Jamaica, we're turning up, man. OMARI Hutchinson named in Jamaica squad for the first time. Now, again, it's only a friendly, but it's a good look. Come on, man. I don't know why you're not called up to England when England's youth team setups, but forget all of that. Paul Hall has called up uncapped Arsenal midfielder OMARI Hutchinson for the first time on Tuesday for the international friendly against Catalonia in Spain on the 25th of May. Come on, we need this. Come on, cap him. Come on, lit. We're moving up in this world. To go with that, they actually, if he plays for Jamaica in qualifying for something, he can actually play his teammate Marcelo Flores, who has chosen to represent Mexico over Canada. Can't say no one else saw that coming in it, really and truly. He's confirmed he wants to represent Mexico people. He's of English, Canadian, and Mexican descent people. So yeah, people. He was born in Canada. However, he's Mexican, innit? I'm sure you've got young players. Well, sorry, that's not what he said. What did he say? I'm aware that my career is just beginning. I have a lot of work ahead of me. Do I want to go to the upcoming World Cup? Sure, every Mexican child dreams of playing in the World Cup, but I recognize that that is not a decision for me to make. His father is represent Mexico at under 20 level. So yeah, man, feels Mexican, innit? And to be fair, Canada have a bunch of young players on the scene and whatnot. He could have probably, I think he would have got to the World Cup with Canada, really. They got a young squad and whatnot. But yeah, man. Someone said you really are deludes. Your team is piss poor. That doesn't even make sense, man. You just wanted to play a word on names. You didn't even spell deluded right, man. Come on, man. Sticky keyboard FC moving mad. To be fair, I'll take if you're gonna win. His son's top goal scorer. Allow me, man. Allow me. Arsenal can be robbed. The football ends tomorrow. What are Spurs giving? You know, could you be Southampton? Crystal Palace did that. Oh, Newcastle could have done that. One love to all the legit Tottenham fans, though, man. Anyways, that's with Marcelo Flores and Amari Hutchinson. Apparently, Miguel Aziz has been speaking, people. Shout out the Roche, my guy. I want to play the whole of next season in senior football, wherever that is. So that probably means going out on loan. Of course, with the Europa League, bearing in mind he has changed agents, Miguel Aziz. You know, I think I like him a lot. I think he could kick ball, man. Hey, man, North London's multicultural, bro. Come on, man. I think he could kick ball for Arsenal at first team level next season, but you're not going to play enough games, in my opinion, to develop to where you need to, because I think Arsenal need about 2 midfielders. There needs to be a degree of seriousness. The Europa League, beyond the young players that are already playing, you know, when asked on his aims for next season, again, 23's football don't help no one. I want to play the whole season in senior football, wherever that is. That's the main goal. Scrolling all the way down. Oh, that's what he said. Kevin Betsy spoken, and so has Crowley. He said, I believe this has been a fantastic stepping stone in Miguel's journey, moving into the senior environment and playing League One football, he said in January. I have absolutely no doubt that he'll go on to become a top player, and this will have been an important part of his development. He leaves here a better player, and you learn a lot. There's been times he's obviously played well, times he's not been out the team. These are not been in the team. These are things that happen. These are things that happen in a career. This is all these experiences, good and bad, for not just you, for Balogun, for half of these guys. It's better than 23's football. 23's football. Once you these sort of guys, you be outside of your comfort zone. You know, for us. You try to run the show in midfield in a League One championship game, you got to earn the right. People are fighting for their jobs. There are some areas of his game that are beyond this level, and other areas that he needs to work on, as with any young player. Trust. Miguel Aziz said, this season, I wanted to improve the defensive side of my game, whether it's competing in 50-50s or second balls. And again, that's what I like that, because he understands that that's something that I've got to have in my Arsenal. And also, yeah, you're an Arsenal man at youth level. Typically, you're going to have bunch of possession, be the dominant team. You might not necessarily be that playing in League One in the Championship for Portsmouth or whoever. It was about me going out of my way to do extra stuff after training with one of the assistants, him kicking the ball randomly and me judging where the ball will land to pick up seconds. There was a mixture of analysis with coaches and me going out and practicing myself. I always want to improve my goal involvement. I've done that steadily, but there's more to come. And he's played as a 6 and 8 and also at times as a 10. Betsy said, Miguel came back having had not a fantastic loan experience in Portsmouth in terms of game time, but a really good learning one for him. In fact, second half of the season was about him getting up to match speed. The first couple of games weren't going to be easy. Under 23's football is still competitive. You're not going to be able to put your foot on the ball, control things and win second balls if you're not match fit. But every time that came, he improved his level and we flipped him around, sometimes playing deeper roles to challenge him in the 360 awareness, looking over it. Look like Lokonga don't do, looking over and working on his defensive actions, and other times in the number 8, so he can also display attributes where he can be good at goal scoring. That's trying to win games every week. Amen. He said, no, I don't have a preferred role. I always say I'm a midfielder. I can play all three, and whenever I can help the team, and if they trust me to play those positions, I will. I played 6 a lot of times in my career so far, and I enjoy that position. It's different to be playing as a number 8 and number 10, because playing as a 10, there's more freedom, and you can make real runs into the box. But I enjoy playing number 6 in this team because I can get on the ball and dictate games. Pick him up. Big him up, big him up, big him up. So yeah, shout out to the young bulls all making progress in their careers, and hopefully they're able to do just that. So that's that. Put it that. Not leaving Arsenal. Sorry, people need to make some timestamps. Arsenal, OMARI to play for Jamaica. Flores selects Mexico. Let's leave it at that. Okay, we have it. As a Spurs fan, I think your goal was 5th. I think 4th was a push too much. I hear you, but unpopular opinion. You're right. Still top 6. Big up you. You lot were 9th, and you've managed to do it. You know, the goal for Arsenal, for Spurs, for United, for all these teams, well, respectfully, away from Spurs, in fact, you lot won a trophy, should be ahead of 4th, but 4th has always been attainable. Arsenal have not got 4th because of themselves. You know, Spurs have won the battle or won the war basically and shown more bottle, ironically, yeah. Show more bottle, show more everything than us. But Arsenal haven't, Arsenal, United, West Ham, you haven't missed out because teams are dramatically better than you. It's not like there's a team sat in full spot that is a mini Liverpool, a mini City where you can say, all right, they're better than us. You know, there's 2 of the best teams in the country. The 3rd is Chelsea. 4th has been available season in, season out. We go back to Emre where we missed out by a point. We have capitulated it several times. Ifs and buts are not facts, but Newcastle away, Spurs away recently, Crystal Palace away, Southampton away, Brighton at home. These are recent games. If you want to go back, Burnley at home where we drew, couldn't break down a low block, couldn't hold on to a winning position against Crystal Palace where Lacazette played his way into the team largely because he came off the bench and salvaged something. Everton away, Old Trafford away, regardless of where these teams are, you need to be able to get something in these games, definitely when you've picked up a lead. Issues. And when I look at Southampton, Palace, Brighton, somewhat Newcastle, teams, if there's some negative statistics, they play us, they pattern it really. So we've shot ourselves in the foot. We have to look inwards. It's not because other teams are better than us. The table don't lie, but we've shot ourselves in the foot, whether that's capitulating, whether that's game management, whether that's resilience. You know, Spurs are up there, not to praise Spurs. You lot are up there for, you're not top, but you're up there for, maybe it's because you're not how you're starting games, but you're up there for clawing points back from winning positions. We haven't done that too many times. It's this, and you throw in the naiveties, you know, and the obvious that we've been speaking about through this live stream and the numerous things with Arsenal. That's why we're at where we're at, really. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should always be targeting 4th minimum, if I'm honest with you. The target was probably the top 6. You should always, top 4 is not an achievement. Yeah, it brings finances and it provides a platform. But again, if you're a footballer and you retire, you know, you can't tell your kids that I finished 4th. There's no award for that. So we've shot ourselves in the foot. And this is why I kept saying all live stream and all these months, don't have that feeling of regret. Just don't have any regrets. You lot are going to be plagued all season. We can try and be overly negative about this season where some fans who were having us down to get relegated see us now 5th and whatnot, and our best position in a couple of years. Not that that was hard to do, drawing us out. People finding fake positives, saying 5th is about right. No, because if you can't have a goal in mind and see it through to the end, much like if in the 90 minutes, how are you going to go get 4th next year? How are you going to build and expand? You need to, you know, the truth's in the middle, you know. 5th is probably just about right, and we probably would have taken that in August, but since top 4 has become something, it's bitterly disappointing to not do it. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't know why, I'm not saying you, just again projecting and speaking in general, I don't know why there's not this degree of honesty, if I'm completely honest. Like, 2 truths can live in the same realm. Life doesn't have to just be black or white. It'd be a very boring life if we never saw color in it. The truth is in the middle. 3 sides to every story and that. So we'd have to see. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think he will, man. Do you know what rubbed us out really and truly? Not replacing our big dogs, Ramsey, Cazorla, Rosa, etc. Exactly. Simple as that, man. Jesus is coming for a paycheck. Come for that. Worst enemy, capitulation. They do have that. But then Kane was stinking up. The Son's a bad boy. But Kane, let's not act like Kane weren't stinking up the place the whole season for a second. You know? They signed Kulusevski. They changed their mentality. They bought in fully to what Conte was saying. Doing what they're doing, really and truly, you know? That's our fault, really. That's the club's fault. If you ain't got guys that you can rely on, like Son and Kane, that's our fault. You know, you don't get brownie points for getting rid of experienced players and using the young players. You know, the same way as I said at the start. You know, if the sun's gonna shine, there's gonna be rain. You knew when at a point where Saka, Smith Rowe, these guys are bagging week in, week out. They're learning to score goals. They're not goal scorers. You know it's not sustainable. So when the flip side, Ramsdale as well, a volatile 23-year-old keeper. So when the flip side now happens and they're stinking up the joint or not bagging and things, boy. Because even the most experienced players, there's question marks whenever they stop scoring. Kane, Ronaldo stopped scoring. They said crisis. So, you know, Vardy went on a bit of a drought. Salah scored 20 goals, went on a bit of a drought and made this top 4 debate. This is why you need other players. The fact, if you're not Messi, Ronaldo and these guys, then nobody should be relying on you per se. You can't stand in the rain and complain you're wet, which is what we're doing. Too often than not, our young players, our performances of young players are correlated with us winning or losing. And made our bed, you have to lie in it. This is the life we live in it. This is what we decided to do. Where do you think we'll finish? Well, 5th, innit? Well, it's not hard, innit? Like 5th. Aubameyang has 11 and 16 in the league for Barca. Real shame Arteta couldn't manage him because we needed his quality. But hey, you gotta play the long game. Marathon, not a sprint. It was all flavor of the month getting onto Aubameyang, but Arteta didn't help himself. You know, some fans will waffle about saved wages and that, but you ain't got an asset that could score goals. You didn't get a replacement. That's a big reason. We can't score. We can't, we concede a lot of goals. How many of these goals could have turned these stinky performances into victories? What are your thoughts on Arsenal paying nearly the same amount for Gab as this is Haaland, as Man City for Haaland? I don't know where you got your figures, but Haaland's 85 million in total. And we can't get Haaland anyway. So, yeah. Exactly like Steve said, top 4 came into view by virtue of faulting contenders. Then we faulted big time. Exactly. You've got to be able to take advantage of things like this. You know, if we were fighting relegation and we were shooing to go down and other teams have stunk up the place a bit more, we've got to capitalize on that. To be fair, you got 100 and something million, you spent 150 million last summer. Is it too unrealistic to spit whether we sign players or not to expect to spend 200 million? I don't know. It just doesn't. Out of all the unrealistic things I see coming out of stuff with Arsenal, I don't really think when I look at it, 200 million is that. What worries me is how that 250 million, 250 million or whatever will be spent. Really? Because again, money is being spent. There's not enough bang for the buck, bro. Like, I'm not gonna turn. I like Ben White, but man can't. What have we got? Can we answer the question? It looks like 50 million well spent. Maybe in terms of longevity, maybe in a couple of years, but you know, we've sport 50 million at this moment in time. Is he the best centre back in the club? I don't believe so. Is he the best defender in the club? It's probably Tierney or Tomiyasu in the aspect of defending. They're betting on him, man. They're betting on Arteta. Well, I'd say, Arteta, you got a new contract. You're going to get more money. I do think there's a lot of wolves out to get you, but let's not lie. There are some luxuries and some periods that less managers have been sacked for less, that other managers that don't have this backing would have got. For me, I would be a bit jealous if I was a manager of any other club because you ain't really done it and you just keep getting, pardon me, supported more and more and more and more. There, even though I understand it, there I play devil's advocate and say I've never met someone that's rewarded for failure with more sort of clarity and things like that. So the Wolves have to be out. You can't have the rough with the smooth. You can't be gassing up potential and then not asking questions. If Pep flops, man asks questions. If Conte flops, man are gonna ask questions. If Klopp flops, man are gonna ask questions. We're coming to expect something of Saka. If Saka doesn't bag a certain chance, we're gonna get at him. When we win, of course, gas up Arteta, but that means, you know, it feels like you can't ask any questions. And I get it. There's too many agenda-driven individuals in life, and especially where my club's concerned. But yeah, man, it is what it is. It is what it is, people. The sad thing is that experienced players will not come to play for Arteta, and we will spend more money on young players and bottle again. I don't know what will happen, man. We do know we're one of the top 10 richest clubs in the world. We're financially stable. We have no excuses. We can spend big if we want to. I want to spend correctly, man. Like, we keep spending money. Spend it correctly. We are, and Charlie said it here, we are where we are. I support the team, and though the manager, I agree with the long-term goals, even if I disagreed with the short-term plays in Jan, onwards and upwards with this foundation. Exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day, but I've seen some scaffolding go up. I'm asking, bloody hell, I thought you said the plumbers were here at 9 a.m. They're not here. I'm calling phones, people not answering. You know, I need to see it continue in that vein. And this is it. Everyone else held on to players. I would have liked to have seen Eddie Howe at Arsenal. Wonder what he could have done compared to Arteta. I think he's got a big job. He's managing Newcastle now. You're going to have a serious wallet to spend. I mean, Eddie Howe, he knows how to build teams. He took Bournemouth from the bottom. He tried to leave and snake them and go Burnley and came back, but he understands it. I'm not going to lie. Arteta is a bit spoiled, is a bit pampered, is a bit silver spooned. You know, or you've been given a lot of PR. You haven't had really any resilience in your career. I mean, I'm sure you have, but for me, as soon as you retired, you got to go City. You was rewarded with no CV, getting a big job at Arsenal, really and truly, at one of the most dangerous times. And I admire you for that. You've got no swimming experience. You've jumped into the strongest tide, but with that comes this, innit? You knew what you needed to walk. You knew what you walked into. You know what you need to do. You know, no one put a gun to your head. And to be honest, there are certain variables that you can't blame him for and certain long-going problems at the club, but there's certain issues that have been highlighted off his own accord. In the same way these young players are learning, he's going to keep learning. With 5 subs coming in next season, do people understand how much of a game changer that is, as you can change to various systems? This plays into the hands of cities and pools. Again, yeah, but you can't just make 5 subs. You have to do it in a certain sort of way. So it'd be interesting to see how it is deployed. You're right. It could mean more game time and it could mean less of the incidences we see around certain players playing, or better yet, not playing. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. And again, somehow we almost got top 4 without scoring goals, which imagine if you did score goals. Since January the 1st, Gabriel has 1 goal in night. Gabriel Martinelli has 1 goal in 19 appearances. Saka has 6 goals in 20 appearances, and 2 of them are penalties. Eddie Nketiah has 4 goals in 20 appearances. Bearing in mind, obviously, he probably got to filter his thing down to when he came in. Smith Rowe has 2 goals in 18 appearances. Lacazette has 1 goal in 18 appearances. So that's since January. We have scored what? Saka and Nketiah, that's 10, that's 11, that's 13, that's 14 goals since January, bro. When you can't score goals and you've got 14 goals since January, when you can't keep clean sheets, where are you going to end up? Football's a simple game, you know. You need to score more goals than your opponent and keep less goals out of your net. It's a simple game. So that's 14 goals allegedly since January between the certain players, you know, which isn't good enough between certain players. These are your key attackers and whatnot. So we're not necessarily a goal-scoring team, really, since January. And then how many have we conceded since January? Let's just do the Prem. 1 against Brentford. Yeah, 1 against Brentford. No, my maths is poor. 2 against City. Let me get my calculator before I lose count of this stuff, people. So that's 14 goals between our attackers, which tells you, brother, we need some goal scorers up in this place. But then also at the same time, let's start looking at this. You know what? That's 2 against Liverpool. That's 2 against. That's 4. That's 2 against City. All right, I'll discount that. 1 against Brentford. 2 against Watford. 3 against. Now we're at 10. That was 3 against Palace. 2 against Brighton. 13 when you consider the 1-0 defeat to Southampton. 14 when you consider the 1 United scored. 15 with the 1 West Ham scored. 16 with the 1 Leeds United scored. 19 with the 3 Spurs slapped in. You know, you're touching about what's it? Where are we? I've lost the count. So that's 19. It's 21 goals let in. Does this make sense to you? Like, hey, It is what it is, people. Like, football's a simple game. No matter how much people try and finesse us and complicate, it's a simple game. Crazy. There you have it. There you have it. I mean, they're only gonna back guys you don't rate, bro. Like, listen between the light. The way they talk about Arsenal is because they're not a threat. So yeah, man, it's crazy. We'll improve, I believe, in Arteta as long as he learns from his mistakes. I mean, I'll always give people the benefit of the doubt. I'll always survive, but I'm like, Arteta, you're not my guy. The players are not my guy. We're all coming under this band of being Arsenal. You do well, give you your credit. When you do shaky things, have to comment on it. I'm not committed to seeing. I want the manager to get it right. Who wants to do the sacking thing? But I'm not committed to just seeing certain variables at place. I want Arsenal to be successful. The way it's moving is at this moment in time, Arteta's going to learn all his mistakes and then not make them at other places. And that's cool. He's a young manager. It's naive to assume he's going to be at Arsenal forever. But it tells you in part the problem, really. Like, don't let it be for no reason. Really and truly, like. So yeah, man. With that though, I think it's lunchtime. It's 1:30. I didn't even realize the time. We've been here for close to 2 hours, people. I'm back. I haven't actually made it yet, but it's gonna be on YouTube. It'll definitely be on Twitch. It's Europa League final today, so I'm gonna be doing Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt, that is against Rangers. So yeah, I'll see you lot then. 15 minutes before kickoff, 7:45, people. So yeah, man. I'm going to love and leave you lot. It's been fantastic, from your engagement to your talking points to, you know, just everything you lot do, man. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's almost, we're not going anywhere, but it's almost a shame that the season is almost over, people, because I really have been appreciative of you lot support on both my platforms and just everything day in, day out, man. So yeah, hope you all have a good day, a blessed day. Move that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and them things there. Make sure you stay healthy. Yeah, man, check out the rest of the content. Smash the like button. Make sure you're following on Spotify, TikTok, Twitter, and the rest of it. Bless.
There's always that active when defenders.
I think it's like